Hey everyone, Andrew and Adam with It Takes Two Takes. We are here to talk about the movie Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. It's an animated film from DC Universe. I don't know that it's been marketed very well, but we're here to help with that. Adam, kick it off. What are your thoughts? Let's start with let's avoid spoilers, right? Let's go that route first.
I definitely agree it wasn't marketed well. I didn't even know it was coming out until all of a sudden I just saw that it was out. So even knowing that it was coming, that was a complete shock. It wasn't until it dropped and it's like, oh, look, there's a new DC animated movie.
This was supposed to be a series of essentially episodes through CW Seed. And then they ultimately said, oh, we're going to do, 11 episodes or, just shy of a dozen. And they released one. And then they ultimately packed in a few episodes and created a 90-minute film out of it. So it does feel a bit, I don't know, short-sighted.
It's like they wanted to do the show, but that didn't really land and they knew it was going to really take off, but they already put a whole lot of work into it. So they kind of crammed it together to release it as a movie instead, since they already put the work in. I wasn't a fan of it. I was having a hard time struggling really to find anything I liked about it. I was not real overly happy with the dialogue, the story, the animation. I could see what they were trying to do, some of the stylized situations where it's like they were obviously going for a very specific style or approach. It felt very low budget to me. The script or the animation or everything just felt really half-assed. So I honestly wasn't a fan of the movie. Which is surprising. I normally like the DC animated stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was coming into this thinking I was going to have to say some things and I was going to have to be prepared to defend my stance, but I really thought you were going to be more on the positive side of this one. Look, now I feel like I do need to come in and defend this to some degree. Deathstroke is somebody that's kind of, as far as like a featured character, he's underrepresented, right? So I was kind of looking forward to the idea that, look, if you're a Deathstroke fan, I think you're going to be okay with this movie.
Yes and no. In this, they tried to make him so much like an anti-hero or a misunderstood type of person. He's always been a bit of a really bad guy, and it's just he felt a little watered down to me.
Okay, think about Avengers Endgame, right? What did they do with Thanos? They at least explained a little bit of what his motivation was. They at least gave some sort of a level of being able to a degree to have some empathy, or at least to say, okay, I get where he's coming from. I feel like on paper, like if you look at this origin story, they had an opportunity to make us somewhat care, at least in this 90-minute window of time. And where I think maybe you're going, or I'm at least going to take us there, is that from a writing standpoint, especially in the first half, it almost felt like watching a teen drama, the level of quality that the script was. Like I didn't care. It just felt very empty to me. Like I wanted to get into his headspace and understand more. And that's what it seemed like they were trying to do, but they didn't do a good enough job at it. Like I just don't think the writing was quite there. I enjoyed the action. I enjoyed seeing an adult-rated DC animated film about a character that is heavily followed and beloved, but beyond that, I think that's where I'm going. Where I say, if you like Deathstroke, you might enjoy this.
I definitely think that unless you are a hardcore Deathstroke fan and you really wanted to see this particular kind of storyline that's based off of from comic books kind of told, then you'll like it. Also, assuming you're not an animation snob like I am, I don't think this really cuts it if you're looking for some good comic book movie right now. For those who are going to watch this, who don't want to hear any spoilers, who don't want the details because you want to find out for yourself, at this point, stop watching. Come back later and watch the rest of this after you've seen it. Now, if you don't think, based on what we've already said, you're going to want to watch it or you don't care about spoilers, hey, then keep on watching, because now I think now this is where
spoiler dad energy. Hang on.
I think this is where we're gonna end up tearing it apart a little bit worse than we already have.
I think we could have torn it apart even in the non-spoiler territory, to be honest.
Yeah, the whole story didn't really. The first half, you don't feel for the characters at all. You don't get emotionally invested in them. You don't
Nope.
actually care that his son gets kidnapped. You don't really care that his son even gets his throat injured.
The throat injured, I started to perk up a bit. I'm going to be honest, but everything leading up to that, I agree. I was like, okay.
Ultimately, you could have pulled this off and done it completely, since you were making it rated R anyway. They could have totally gone full dark on this, represented Deathstroke the way most people are used to seeing him represented, really make him truly lean into him being a real bastard of a person.
Right.
But ultimately, we've seen this in Titans, right? He's a real bastard of a person, but he cares about his kid, right? And you could have leaned into that just as hard in this one, and they didn't. And I think that's where I think they failed.
I feel like they alluded to that too. Like, it's like the movie couldn't make up its mind with the way these characters had their dialogue. Like, the Jackal saying things like, like you and I are the same person. And I'm like, are you? The second half of the movie, again, there were some great moments, I feel like, but the Jackal's upset that he killed his daughter. That wasn't even a thing. Like, when it happened, I didn't even know that he cared that much. The motivations and all that, like, even from a villain standpoint.
Well, and in the past, if you watch one of the Teen Titan movies, Deathstroke is in it, and he was manipulating and messing with a teenage girl, which is really bad and creepy, but he was doing it to get the leverage he wanted to go after the Teen Titans. And that was the level of bastard that he is. So even at the end, when he's sitting there saying, well, you killed my daughter, I wanted Deathstroke to go, good. I hope it hurt. That's the type of character that if they had leaned into him that way, I think I would have enjoyed it more. And you thought going into this, I'll get a cool Deathstroke movie. The animation is so subpar compared to what they've been doing.
Yeah.
It felt like they were going for a particular style, but they didn't quite land whatever it is they were trying to do.
And it was inconsistent. Like, you kind of had that, like the comic sort of dots, that style. There were moments, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Why didn't you do more of that? Like,
right.
And it was all kind of a little bit all over the place in that regard.
And you've heard me say about my frustration sometimes with things being too flat. And there was very much time, like when they were focused on his wife's face at early on and everything like that, and her face was just so flat. I mean, not a shadow on it, nothing. I didn't think the movement of the characters during the fight scenes was very smooth either. It did feel choppy. If you're a Deathstroke fan, I think you'll be fine with this, mainly because he doesn't have enough of his own. Like, you're not going to see many films dedicated solely to the character. You'll get what you came for if your goal was to come in this film watching Deathstroke slice up some enemies for a good portion of 90 minutes. If that's what you're looking for, you're going to be okay with this. Be prepared for clunky script, and really be prepared for, I don't know, some attempt to look into the mind of Slade, and you're never really going to get what you want out of that. It's like they spend so much time trying to make us care about this dynamic with his family and like his whole history, and I'm okay with that, but execute better. Did you catch it? Almost seemed like they were trying to do like the president be like a Donald Trump looking character.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, because he, the way the hair was styled and the fact he was overweight and everything like that, it felt like they were almost going to try to do a caricature on Donald Trump, but the character wasn't in it enough to even do that.
Really
so he had like 3 lines in the whole thing, so it really wasn't going to work. But I noticed that it's like I think they're trying to do like a Donald Trump type of president. But yeah. I think to sum up, I think it's I didn't enjoy it. That's my bottom line. I'm not going to go into it any further. I already have. I didn't like it.
Glad we're on the same page, I guess. But at the same time, I was prepared to argue. So.
Well, maybe we'll have a difference of opinions when next month when Death in the Family comes out, and maybe we'll have a difference of opinions on that. But
yeah,
that'll be weird because they're doing a whole interactive, kind of choose your own adventure take on that, which I'm not sure how that's going to work from a digital release standpoint. But in any case, we'll see when that comes out next month. But yeah, I think we pretty much covered it. If you've got your own thoughts, leave them in our comments section. If you like this video, don't forget to like. If you like our channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to know when our next video will be coming out, hit the notification bell to be notified. And outside that, we'll see you in our next video.
Hi, Adam here. If you like this video, go ahead and check out our other videos. And if you like this channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hope to see you again real soon. Bye!